Hi, my name is Rayanne. Um, I'm a Southern Alberta girl here in Canada. I just want to share a few dreams. Actually, I'll probably do three clips. Um, but I want to start with this one first. Um, so, like I said, I come from Southern Alberta. I'm about 15 minutes away from the border. Um, the dream centered around my childhood home in a place called Etna, which is like a hamlet um, outside of Carson, about 45 minutes away from Lethbridge, Alberta. Um, and so with this dream, I was in this farm, my old childhood farm, and it's like a 5 acre plot of land. And I was going outside, um, and it was pitch black outside. Pitch black outside. It's really, really dark. And you could feel the storm, the tornado coming. You could feel the ominous in the air. You could feel the heaviness. You felt afraid. You're wondering what was going on. You weren't sure what direction it was coming from. But there was a moment where I could see the storm was coming from a northwesterly direction to a southeasterly direction. And so the northwesterly direction is kind of like the Blood Reserve, Pincher Creek, near the rock, like the southern end of Alberta Rocky Mountains, and it was coming to the border. So for those who want to look this up, um, and so it was the storm was coming, and I couldn't see it. And what I thought was funny was that on my land there was farm equipment. Now we're not farmers, so this equipment kind of caught my attention because I was looking at the different parts. There's like three parts to this equipment, and the tractor part, and then two other parts. And the Lord, in the dream, there was a part that had it was holding canisters, like heavy metal stainless steel canisters. Had two of them, and as the storm was approaching, it lifted one of the canisters up in the air and then back down again. And the other one just stood still. And so that I thought that was kind of funny that it would just do that. And then as the storm was passing me, it just barely grazed our home. No damage was done, but it was heading towards the border. And as I was looking at it heading in the border direction, it kind of stalled. The storm was still going, but it kind of stopped. And then my eye grasped kind of shifted to another tornado, and the tornado was on the American side, and this storm was huge. You could not miss it. It was red. It was fire. It was boiling lava. Huge, huge storm. Different compared to what I just seen passing through by the house. But I could tell that whatever was happening in Canada was about to join whatever is hugely happening in the States. And so I could tell that they're about to join one another, that they're part of the same distress or struggle that's about to take place. But I definitely felt the boiling and saw the heaviness of what was taking place on the border, on the American side of the border. And so that kind of got my attention. And so after that, I kind of woke up from the dream, and I was just floored by what the storm meant. And I was curious about what the farm equipment was too. And so what happened was a couple of days later, I didn't know about validation of dreams. This is all new to me. But I remember going to Waterton National Park, which is like the highway goes west-east direction. And we're heading west, of course, to the mountains. And on the east side of the highway, there's the Blood Reserve. And on the south side of the border, there's what's it called? Carson. And so as I'm heading west, this house I pass, and on the land right beside it is my farm equipment. Like a couple days after the dream, I saw my farm equipment, and I told my husband, "Do you see this? Like, I told you about the dream. Do you see this equipment?" I was like, "It's totally confirming the Lord's letting me know something's about to happen." Now I got the impression that in the dream the canisters represented 2 seasons, and I didn't know why that, but I just sensed it was 2 seasons. I didn't know when the farm equipment was supposed to initially go onto the field, and I guess after research I came to appreciate it's seeding equipment or something like that. And so I was curious to know when this equipment would be used. Is it once a year? Is it twice a year? What is it? But for this farm equipment to be sitting beside this house we just drove past, I figured it would be soon. And so it sat there for weeks. So every time I went past it on the highway, I just recalled my dream, just remembered my dream. And all of a sudden, in late September or early October, after the harvest was done and the crops were brought off the field, some farmers actually started using this equipment. And so that got my attention. Took a note of that. And so I just put it back there in my mind. And then I was curious to know, would it be used again? Because it had to be twice, like up and down, like the canister. And sure enough, in the spring of 2016, so about, I don't know, March, April time, my equipment was on the field, all over. And so it definitely indicated a growing season. So I thought that was interesting that happened. The funny thing was, so whatever is going to happen is going to impact the farming where there won't be another season of whatever that equipment is. And so right now, this is August 2016. They're harvesting right now. So I'm curious to know what's going to happen to prevent that other season from happening. But hopefully my other dreams will kind of give insight to that dream, insight to that. But the one thing I thought was curious is that the same summer that I had this dream, I also was apprised of the fact that the RCMP had signed a document agreeing to bring about martial law in this area, which I thought was interesting because same month that I was made privy to this information, and it kind of got my attention because the RCMP detachment, they have to each individually sign an agreement with whoever's making this happen that they'll go along with this. So I'm surprised that someone in our community is doing that to us, but that martial law is planned for this area. And I've seen a dream of that in this particular area. And so I thought that was interesting. So thanks for listening. I'll share the next part of the dream in a couple of minutes.